This graph displays several trajectories in the phase plane of competitive Hunter model. The equilibrium point 00 is an unstable node and 150-200 is the saddle point. Thus, there is no stable equilibrium value, meaning that the system is very dependent on the initial conditions. It is highly unlikely for the both species to reach equilibrium levels. Initial stockage levels turns out to be important in determining which of the two species might survive. Perturbation of the system may also affect the outcome of the competition. Thus, the coexistence of the two species is highly improbable.
Generally, when the season shifts to winter in Washington, the temperature of the surrounding drops. Thus, we will suffer from the coldness. To counter this, we would like to know whether a heater that provides 20 degrees Fahrenheit per hour in noon is sufficient to raise the temperature of indoor to an ideal temperature. This is attic. This is main floor, and this is basement.
K0 is the thermal conductivity of the floor and the wall of the basement. K1 is the thermal conductivity of the ceiling of the basement. K2 is the thermal conductivity of the wall and main floor. K3 is the thermal conductivity of the ceiling of the main floor. K4 is the thermal conductivity of the walls and of the attic.
From the graph above, the orange line represents the temperature of main floor, while the blue line and the gray line represent the temperature of the basement and the temperature of attic. Notice that the temperature of main floor, attic, and basement changes dramatically within 5 hours. Take the temperature of main floor. After 5 hours, temperature of main floor is about 9,900 Fahrenheit, which is very extreme in real life. Can you imagine how people stay in such high temperature in daily life, although it's winter time? Also, the temperature of attic and basement after 5 hours are extremely low. It is impossible happening in our daily life, which could kill us. Human being cannot withstand this extreme temperature in indoor. But after 1 hour, the temperature of main floor is 61 Fahrenheit, which is an acceptable temperature, which called an ideal temperature of indoor of winter time. Based on the graph, we can conclude that model is not fit, which can also interpret as overfitting. Since the model is not suitable, we can add some modification by adding switch to the heater. When it reaches certain temperature, it will switch off the heater, and it drops until certain temperature. It will switch on again, and it will become a kind of loop.